Okay, this is the DJI Avata drone. It's a great little drone, little cine whoop. And a lot of people on YouTube have been losing these drones out in the field, and they're trying to use the video in order to find their drone after it's crashed or become disconnected. And I want to show you there's another way to find it, the actual GPS coordinates that are stored in the goggles, and you can transfer them onto your phone. It's pretty easy, and it might save you from losing your drone. So the first thing to understand is that the drone is continuously transmitting back to the goggles, and it's giving its exact GPS coordinates the entire time it's flying out there. So as long as the drone is powered up, those GPS coordinates are being transferred into the goggles and they're stored there. And you need to extract those into your phone onto the DJI Fly app in order to be able to find the drone. It works a whole lot better than using the video. It's worked for me several times, and it's just the way to go. Okay, there's a misconception out there among a lot of people that if you crash your drone and the battery is ejected, it's no longer powered up, and therefore you can't use the GPS coordinates to find your drone. But the fact of the matter is that the GPS coordinates are always being transferred to the goggles so long as it's powered up. At the instant that you lose power, let's say it crashes and the battery comes out, those are the last GPS coordinates that are going to show up in the goggles. And you can use that with the Find My Drone on the DJI Fly app to actually go out there and retrieve it. Now, one more thing I should mention is that if this drone becomes disconnected, in other words, if I fly over there behind that rock over there and it's beyond line of sight down below the hill where the radio transmission is not coming back to the goggles, well, it's going to disconnect then. In that case, generally the drone, and it's worked every time for me, the return to home will be activated and it'll come back and land itself. It's not going to crash. In the rare event that it does, those GPS coordinates of where the signal actually dropped out, those are still going to be stored in the goggles. So in that case, let's say it went straight down or in that rough area, you could still use those coordinates to give you a pretty good idea that it's in a certain general area and be able to retrieve your drone that way. Now, it's really important that when you're out in the field that you carry along the adapter, the little wire cord that you can connect from the goggles directly onto your phone. So it connects right in there like that. This comes with the drone, and this little piece right here, of course, is the charging cable for my iPhone. It just fits right into this USB port, and then I can transfer the data. So what I'm going to do for the demonstration is I'm going to launch the drone. I'm going to fly it up there over the Calico Hills, fly it around a little bit, come back, and I've got a blue tarp set up here about 200 feet away, and I'm going to go ahead and land it there. Then I'm going to leave the goggles and the controller right here. Then I'm going to go over there and I'm going to pull the connector on the battery, just like it would if, let's say, if it crashed and the battery ejected, just to sort of simulate that condition. And then I'll come back and we'll see if we can use the Find My Drone, show you how that works. And the tarp is set up out there around 200 feet away. Hopefully it'll show up in there. Okay, let's go ahead and launch the drone. Okay, we're just going to leave the goggles and the RC controller powered up. We're going to go out here and disconnect the battery on the drone. And now we'll just go ahead and disconnect the battery from the drone. Let's see, it's still powered up right here. So I'll pull that out. look here and see if we can retrieve it with the GPS. So the GPS coordinates should be stored in the goggles now. I can go ahead and shut off the goggles while I'm making the connection. That's off. Okay, there's no hurry now. The GPS data is all stored in the goggles. So I went ahead and connected the connector from my phone up to it. I'm just going to connect this other end into my phone, bring up the DJI Fly app, and we'll go from there. I'm going to use the screen recorder so you can see what has actually happened on the app and on my phone. Okay, I've got the screen recorder on. I'm going to go ahead to the DJI Fly app, open that up. Now I'm going to turn on the power to the goggles so that information can transfer over. Okay, you can hear the goggles firing up. Now I'm going to go over here to the profile, tap profile. I'm going to go to find my drone. Usually it takes about 30 seconds for that information to transfer over. And there we have it right there. I can expand that out. If I have cell service here, I can bring up the satellite photo. Let's see if that's going to work. There's satellite. I may not have enough here to bring that up. No, it doesn't look like I do, but that's okay. We don't need it. I can go ahead and utilize this information right here to go ahead and find the drone. The blue dot, of course, is myself, and the triangular dot is where the drone is actually located now. So we're going to start walking around and try and reduce the gap between those 2 points until we're on the drone. Now, what I'm going to do first here is disconnect the connection to my cell phone. I don't need that. And I can also go ahead and power the goggles down. So disconnect it. And shut the goggles down. Okay, as I'm walking here, you can probably see the gap being reduced a little bit. And of course the drone is powered off. It doesn't need to be powered on. Goggles are powered off, the controller's powered off, because everything that I need to find this drone is now on the phone, on the app here. You can see it getting less and less here. If I go in the wrong direction, it'll show me that gap will actually increase, or if I go to the left or right. And here we are, I'm about 3 feet away, standing right over it. And here's where the drone is, all powered off, of course. And up on the hill, a couple hundred feet away, is my chair and the goggles and the controller, everything powered off. So we were able to find it just with the DJI Fly app. Also in the lower left portion of that screen, you'll notice the GPS coordinates are on there. You can use those coordinates in any other GPS tracker to locate the drone. Okay, I'm back home now, and I'm going to show one more thing, and that is how to bring up the flight data for each of your flights. I've got the phone connected back up to the goggles. Got the DJI Fly app up. And I'm going to go over here to profile. And over here on the left, I'm going to hit more on the lower left. And in just a moment, it should transfer the data over from the goggles over here to the phone. There we go, synchronizing flight records from goggles successful. Okay, now so what that did is it brought up the last couple of flights on here. Can bring, let's bring this one up right here. That's the one where I was doing the Find My Drone flight. You can see it right on there. I'm going to tap the satellite over here since I have cell service and bring up the satellite view. Okay, so there's the actual flight. pretty good. It gives you all the information for the flight, your altitude, your speed. You can see I'm doing like 28, 26 miles an hour right there. Just going to pinch that down a little bit so we can see more of it. And then I can take the slider over here if I just want to see the entire flight right here. And coming right back over here and landing on the tarp. And that was the end of the flight. So that's really useful information also for just kind of evaluating your flights when you get all done. That's it.